yourself right to Meaningful Morning Podcast. This is Tanayla and Haley. As you have been listening this week, we have been talking about responsive classroom. A special component to responsive classroom is morning meetings.
Today, we are bringing in a special guest. Her name is Christine Sprague. She is an early childhood professional, and she's going to tell us and our listening parents about morning meetings and why they are amazing to use in the classroom.
Today's podcast is going to be amazing. But before we welcome our guests into the studio, we're going to cover our standard of the day.
Standard of the day is inspired by Oklahoma's Common Core learning standards.
Today's standard is from kindergarten literacy. Students will learn to follow words from left to right and from top to bottom on a printed page.
We suggest for our parents to underline the text with their fingers when reading aloud to their children. Something as simple as this can be really helpful, so grab a book and have fun.
All right, let's get back to the podcast. Christine, we are so happy you could be here with us and talk with us today. I'm just so happy for you to be here.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me.
I am so happy too as well, Christine. So, Christine, tell us, what exactly is a morning meeting?
Morning meeting is an engaging way to start each day. You get to build a classroom community and a strong sense of responsibility and help children set up for success socially and academically. Each morning, students and teachers gather together in a circle and talk from 20 to 30 minutes and interact with one another.
Wow, that sounds like so much fun.
And it has 4 main components I'd like to talk about. The first is greeting. Students and teachers greet one another by name and practice offering hospitality.
Could you give us an example of that?
Well, if we were doing greeting together, I would say, "Good morning, Tanayla. How are you?"
Would I say anything back, or how would that work exactly?
You could either use the same script by greeting me, or you could change up and say, "How was your day yesterday?" Or, "I saw you wearing new shoes," or something like that.
And that doesn't just work for kids. That's an adult thing as well.
You work best by modeling.
Interesting. So what about the other components you're talking about?
Next is sharing. Students share information about important events in their lives. Those who are listening offer comments and ask questions.
Interesting.
So next would be group activity. Everyone in class participates in a short, lively activity that fosters group cohesion and helps students practice social and academic skills. An example would be reciting a poem, dancing, singing, or playing a game that reinforces skills that are social or academic. So for our last is morning message. Students read and interact with a short message written by their teacher. The message is created to help students focus on the work they'll be doing in school that day.
So can maybe you give an example about a morning message?
Let's see, if I was going to focus a lot on science that day, I would start off like, to my young scientists or something like that.
Oh, that's
to
so
get
cute.
them kind of excited and then kind of be like, "So, what makes a fruit?" Because that's a lesson I did recently in class, was to figure out what characteristics fruits have. So something according to that.
Oh, wow, that really gets them thinking.
Okay, so this is a question I've heard from many parents. So, some parents believe or feel that morning meetings waste valuable classroom instructions. How would you respond to those parents who feel that way?
Well, I would be great to get a question like that because there are a lot of purposes to morning meetings. First of all, it really sets off the tone for the day. We're learning to be respectful. We're learning together as a class, and we're establishing that classroom community, as I was saying. We gotta have that trust to be able, to share with others. And so it just doesn't stay within the classroom. If you're working on that, it goes on out into the rest of the day. Another would be, it really motivates our children. It addresses human needs. The need to feel a sense of significance and belonging, and the need to have fun. That's often overlooked in classrooms nowadays.
Yeah, I understand that. The fun especially.
Repetition of many ordinary moments of respectful interaction is also something that's a part of a morning meeting. Learning to be respectful and using polite words, waiting our turn and things like that. If they get it into a routine, it really sticks, not just, do it one week and never do it again. If you're doing it every day, it really helps.
Oh, I love that. As a parent, respect is great for children to learn in school.
Let's see. Oh, it also merges like social, emotional, and intellectual learning. You can't just focus on academics. You gotta learn how to interact with one another. We don't just go up and snatch toys away or hit each other to interact. We use our words, and stuff, and try and see from others' points of view. And that all this just really ties in with classroom community. I can't stress that enough, how important that is.
Wow, you're really explaining this so well.
And
those are all great points. I really liked when you mentioned how it sets the tone for the day. Starting my day off on a good note always makes me have a more productive day.
I like the comment about significance and belonging. So many times children live in homes where they are not the center of attention, and their meetings and these meetings always allow them a chance to shine like stars. So I think it's a great idea for the significance in morning meeting.
I completely agree. This type of interaction allows children to share anything they want, anything that's happened, get it off their chest at the beginning of the day. Children need those moments when they're feeling excited or anxious about something. Sharing with the class helps them to release that tension. I don't want their only talk time to be during lunch, because a lot of times it's just, gotta push the material, but you need that interaction. All children learn better when they can connect to those around them and hear different ideas.
So, Christine, I just thought of a question to ask. What about the students who frequently come in late, or the students who are pulled out for special programs during the morning meetings?
This does happen a lot. From my own experience, I assign 1 or 2 children to welcome their peers and quietly catch them up on what they've missed. It's a lot easier than having to stop the meeting each time, and my students really like having that job assigned to them. It gives them a sense of pride and responsibility, so it's a really softer position.
Wow, what a great idea. I can see how this stems off your ideas on classroom community.
Yes, you gave a lot of great information for us today, and I'm sure the parents loved everything you had to say.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, I just want to say, thank you so much, Christine, for informing us all about the importance of morning meetings, and we are so glad that you could share all of this with us today.
Well, it certainly was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, girls.
So just a recap of what we learned today, morning meetings are important because they teach the students a sense of self, a sense of importance, and they teach students future needs and tools like greeting and how important that is to talk to communication with people. And 4 components that we've learned is greeting, sharing, group activity, and morning meetings. Is there anything else you want to add to the recap, Haley?
Oh, it looks like you covered it all, Tanayla. That was really great.
Okay, for our listeners that are wanting to learn more about morning meeting, head over to theresponsibleclassroom.com. Responsible Classroom is a research and evidence-based approach to elementary education. It is a great site. Please go and check it out again. That is responsibleclassroom.com. RESPONSIBECLASSROOM.com.
Also, we would like to share an activity you can do with your child to help support morning meeting. Make some time to sit down and share. Talk about school, talk about family, talk about penguins. Whatever it is you talk about, find time to share with each other.
All right, it's time for our famous outro.
Thanks for listening to ECE's favorite dynamic duo, Haley and Tanayla.
Bye.